as the season of monsoon is now in its peak and winter is not far away, I am always reminded, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? So there is a season for the first season, therefore I would like to conclude, of the fashion and design series. And I was thinking about how it all started and what it has taught me. I don't know what it has taught the viewers, but it has just strengthened my belief that most of what we plan in life may or may not happen. But serendipity is the biggest theme which I have personally experienced in my life. Whether it is, when I was just going for a film and seeing an old childhood friend, Chandran, in the lobby of the theatre, leading to finally applying for MBA admission, and instead of going to Institute of English in Trivandrum to pursue with Dr. Ayyappa Panikar at that time, who was heading Institute of English for my MA, because I had got very good marks in English literature for BA. I landed up in studying for MBA, which was the third batch of Cochin University in Kerala. And then I was really struggling in the first semester, and really not very easy to come to terms with the subject because I was a humanities student. But then getting a rank, second rank in the MBA when you conclude the course. And instead of joining the job offer which I got from Madura Courts to join their Mumbai office in the advertising and marketing area, landing up instead as a sales manager silks in Karnataka. And thereafter, taking various positions in handloom and becoming managing director at the very young age in 1986 at the Kerala State Handloom Development Corporation. If you look through that journey, which was somewhat predictable in a sense of speaking, but the relationship with textile, if there is a word like Indophile, I can say that I am a textophile. My entire argument in the FAD series, if you really look at, are revolving around institution building or talking about the textile industry and apparel industry and how they could prosper and the people associated with it could do better is mainly the theme. So the serendipitous movement to fashion, which came about because I was chairman of Kerala Garments for a short while and managing director of the main corporation, and the subsidiary was Kerala Garments, and having run into Calvin Klein and Tommy Hilfiger and Bill Blass and making garments for them in the Kerala Garments factory, led me to actually eventually choosing a career in apparel, because that was the time in '86 when NIFT was being thought about, and I had come for a chance visit, completely serendipitous again, to Delhi, and meeting Dr. Agnihotri and at that point in time the S.K. Mishra, who was in the handloom department as development commissioner, and thereafter joining as a founding faculty member of NIFT, and thereafter getting really engrossed in a field of fashion. So from the first decade of handloom to the second decade and more of fashion, and then again serendipity worked. An institute where I used to go as a guest faculty in the summers in National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, getting selected as the director, the fifth director at the beginning of the new millennium, and having got 2 terms of office and being able to be part of a major transformation of setting up campuses and national design policy. All this I had covered in the various, various episodes. And then, of course, now the skilling focus in the last 8 to 9 years with the current job. Some of it has been captured, and I had argued recently in the concluded Textile 2017, that the fashion ecosystem, if we integrate all the disparate, disaggregated elements of textile industry, from ginning, spinning, weaving, processing, garmenting to retail and accessories and embellishments and lifestyle products and perfumes and eyewear and footwear and everything which is on a human naked body, then you are talking about integrating a system from the craftsman to the top manager, and this I think was well received in the speech made in Textiles 2017. And there I have argued that the skilling ecosystem should therefore bring in an element beyond just the entry-level jobs and create a person who can find job, job rotation, job enrichment, horizontal and lateral movement of the textile value chain. If he wants to change the job from one spinning to weaving or weaving to garmenting, it should be possible. And maybe a person who is a spinning master could equally do well as a production manager of a garment factory with a little bit additional help. Or if you are a tailor, you could become a very good salesperson because you know the human body and how to explain what fits a customer. But you need to really bring in this understanding of the ecosystem, and this is what I argued in the recently concluded Textiles 2017. But I was just again remembering that Handloom Spring Bazaar in 1977, and that was one of the biggest events which really brought me to the national level, because that time agricultural bazaar was sort of the main Pragati Maidan's biggest event, and Agri Bazaar was concluding, and the Handloom Bazaar was made part of that. And I was putting up the Karnataka pavilion because I was sales manager of silk in Karnataka. And some strange occurrence, I was selected to represent all the states in the valedictory function of the Handloom Spring Bazaar. And Shanti Bhushan was the Minister of Textiles, and Dr. N.B. Sheshadri and Mani Narayan Swamy and Renu Sahni, I think, and many other, Michael Pinto later. All these people were doyens of the textile ministry at that point in time. And I was making the first speech at the national level in 1977 in the Pragati Maidan, in the auditorium, which was the amphitheater kind of a place. I think it was Shagadulam Theatre maybe, where it was held. And 40 years later, a similar event happens in Textiles 2017. It was not Handloom Spring Bazaar, but it was a complete textile value chain, from the craftsperson to the designer to all the elements of textile. It made my heart very warm that from handloom, which is just one component of the textile, which had its glorious days during that period, we are seeing the textile industry getting integrated again, and under the new leadership of the current Honorable Minister and the team, which is not bad. And I think if we can build on it, textile and apparel industry will have a great future. And the skilling system, if we can go out of this very entry-level approach to more holistic approach of a T-shaped individual, or a more breadth of competencies and depth of competencies and functional capability and creative enterprises forming the T, I think there is a better chance for our sector to evolve into a value-adding, value-creating system. So I think the argument throughout my 20 episodes revolve around somewhere in parts on this. And if I'm happy that if the viewers have found it interesting, I've got many responses from some of them, even telling that we have to wait a whole week for the next episode. Some people have appreciated that at 12 in the midnight, my team, Mr. Shajan Kumar and Soumya, have been releasing at 12:01 at past midnight immediately the new episode, and many people have been patiently watching for that even in midnight, I suppose. And many episodes have gone past even many thousands of viewership, and some have not necessarily got the expected viewership, but that is part of a long series. But I am very grateful to each one of you who has spent time in viewing this and giving us feedback. Now, one of them even said that I must do a complete makeover. Maybe that I look more or less boring in all these episodes. Maybe that I should get a young designer and get my hairdo and new garments and all that. I take it all in a good stride, but I told that I am past that age where people will be looking at my garments only, and maybe that they want to hear what I am going to say. So I am thankful to each and everyone, and continue watching, and I hope to get back in some time, maybe in spring or in summer. If there is a winter, can spring be far behind? Thank you.